Hello and howdy, folks. Here to talk about the documentary Undefeated, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Enjoyed it very much. I have no problems giving it a 9. I guess part of me wants to give it an 8. It's an emotional 9 for me. My father was a football coach, and I grew up with football in the house. I did not play football personally unless I was made to, which I was made to before I had, the independence of a teenager. So, I grew up with football in my life. Also, this film takes place in Memphis. I'm from the Midwest as well. It's not exactly like my hometown, but it's very similar. Football is a way of life there. I identified very much with the film. Maybe more of the little bit we get to know of the town. Obviously, I can't identify too well with the actual students and the trials they face, but I can definitely identify with, this scenario, I suppose. If I have to criticize it, maybe it doesn't take too many chances. I wish maybe it would have shown a little bit more of, the players. We only get focused in on maybe 2 or 3 players at the most, maybe 4. But, there's a whole team of kids, and we don't get to know too many of them, just a few. And really, too, we get to go below the surface, but not, too in-depth. I just felt that, I could have known more about the players and the hardships of their life. But it's still, it's about Manassas High School and their nearly undefeated season. The first time that they've ever, well, maybe not the first time. I was going to say the first time they've been to the playoffs, but I think they've never won a playoff game, which they still haven't. And really, it focuses on the coach. The coach is a volunteer, does not get paid to do this job, but yet coaches at high school and coaches well and leads them to championship, teaches them, invaluable life lessons, shows that relationship, that fatherhood relationship, while, costing his own, family relationship. Putting the team before his family. We definitely get that feeling. It definitely doesn't do, anything too new. It doesn't really take chances. I suppose it wants to be compared to Hoop Dreams, the, defining, documentary of the mid 90s about inner city youth and basketball. This very much kind of wants to be Hoop Dreams with inner city youth trying to escape their situation in life through football. So it doesn't, it's nothing too new. It's nothing you haven't seen before. It's just very well done. It's very well done. It did win, as you can see from the box there. Won the Academy Award each year, I guess, in 2011 for Best Documentary. So it's obviously well made. Edited and directed by Dan Lindsay and T.J. Martin. And I know T.J. Martin was primarily the camera guy, and Dan Lindsay was more of the editor. But it's a very well-made film. Looks really good. The football action is good. It brings you to Memphis. It really puts you there on the field. It puts you in the, when they need to go to the ghetto, it really puts you in the ghetto. It just feels very real, very authentic, while being very well shot. Looks gorgeous. it's very uplifting. You know, that's another, you know, I said maybe a technical 8, but an emotional 9. You know, there's no way that, unless you're incredibly cynical, and I consider myself to be very cynical, but if you're somehow more cynical than I am, then maybe this will not lift your heart. But, you know, by the end, I didn't cry, but I definitely choked up. You know, I got very emotional. It's a very emotional story. It's just gorgeous. And just to be right there, sometimes I felt a little odd because these were, you know, at times very intimate moments that were captured. I don't know what else to say about it. Again, it was very good. Great. I mean, just a good watch. You know, if you're from a smaller town, or just a town that puts football first. You know, if you're a town that puts football first, you could definitely identify with this. You know, it's just really good. If you need to feel good, it is a feel-good story. You know, I felt like a champion, you know, after watching this. See, I don't really know what else to say. I've talked much longer or less than I usually do, but you know, that's because there's nothing really wrong with it. I can't really think of things to, you know, keep me talking about. Again, I just kind of wish that it would have gotten more into the players' backgrounds, and again, you see that they've got a big, you know, focused 4 here. Those are 4, if I remember correctly, 4 kids who came into the school who were all freshmen the same year, started the team at the same time, and were all, you know, friends before that. And, you know, they said, let's build the team around the 4 of you, and we'll have this unstoppable machine, which they pretty much did. But, you know, there's other people who come in, and not all these guys stay, so there is some drama there. I just kind of wish that we had gotten to know a lot of the players a little bit more seen a little bit more, you know, intimate times. That's definitely the most powerful moments of the film is where you almost feel like you shouldn't be watching it because it's so private. You know, but that's what you want to see. And it could have just been a little bit more of that, but still very effective, very uplifting, very well done. You know, looked good, very moving, just very real. You know, just honest. You know, it's just honest, and that's you know, I enjoyed it, and most of all, it made me think of home. It made me. It took me back to another time. You know, it was just kind of a nostalgia trip, just because this was, you know, very much, but yet very different from my high school experience. So I just enjoyed it. And again, just growing up with football, the coach in this movie is very much like my father. So it made it seem like going home a bit, you know. So I enjoyed that aspect of it. So okay, I think I'm pretty much done there. There's Undefeated, winner of Best Documentary its year. I'll give it a solid 9. I really can't help but not to do that. All right, enjoy.